All right, there we go. So today, guys, is all about field training at a high level during 9 to 5 working hours and after 9 to 5 working hours. What you can be as a positive role model to a new agent when they first start this career. Right? We have our agency. We got 4 people in sales school this week, and they start tomorrow. So it is critically important. I would say one of the most important parts of our career. Obviously, recruiting is very important and protecting families. There's 3 things that we do: we recruit, we train, and we sell. So, you know, we are recruiting on a very high level. We're protecting families at a high level, but we also got to make sure that we're crossing the T's and dotting the I's and training at a very high level. This is one of the things that it's easy not to do, but you got to make sure you do it, or else you're going to have a revolving door, right? So you do not want that in your agency. So if you want people to stick and stay and make it pay, you have to field train very aggressively and with intention. Like I tell people, whenever you have somebody placed on your team, either if you recruit them or your agency owner hires them and places them on your team as a gift, you got to make sure that you field train that person as if it's your brother or your best friend that you brought into the business, okay? Because this is their career, this is their life, and you do not want to be part of the equation that if they leave the business, it's because of you. So we're going to cover a bunch of things on how to make sure that you're training new agents. Again, several of you guys have only been here for 1 or 2 months, and you're already training. Okay, I know we've got several people in our agency that's been here for less than 60 days, and they've already got 1 or 2 people on their team. So you don't have to be here very long. If you can show that you can sell at a high level and you're coachable, you're teachable, you're fun to work with, we're going to start placing people on your team, either your field directors, you know, that may need your help with field training if they're overwhelmed with field training, or your agency owners will help you. If you're doing the right activities the right way, and we see you as a key player going forward, you will have opportunities to field train and grow your agency. So this is a very important part of our business. And it's just like anything else, it's a skill set. The only way to get better is by doing the deal over and over again, just like everything else. And there are definitely some things that you can do to train on a higher level. And yeah, so we're going to cover some of those right now. So let's get this PowerPoint booted up. We've got, here we go. So I actually made this myself. I didn't get Nicole Danwood to make this PowerPoint for me. She's way better at making a PowerPoint. But yeah, hopefully you guys like the background. I thought it was pretty cool. No idea what that actually is. But yeah, so we've got, let's go ahead and just start this. Helping out with new agents with success during 9 to 5 hours and after 9 to 5 hours. So I think field training, it is not, you are their mentor. Just like a basketball coach, you are not just their coach during the 2-hour practice time that you have every single day. You're their coach 24/7. You're their role model. You're their mentor. You are what makes Family Heritage great to them. If you train them at a high level and show them success, they're going to think very highly about Family Heritage. But if you drop the ball and you're late and you don't do the right activities, they're not going to think very highly of Family Heritage. So you are their vision of what Family Heritage is. Okay, you are what make it great as their trainer. Okay, so it's very important that it's not just a 9 to 5 training schedule when you have somebody on your team. You're literally doing things, what you do outside of work hours matters to you and to their success as well. So we're going to kind of cover some of the basic principles on that. So here's the deal. When somebody is hired, these are some things you can do the week prior to sales school to help them get off to a fast start. Okay, some things you can do prior to sales school. Some of these things your agency owner may be doing with them, or regional or market director, but these are things that you should also be a part of in the conversation. Okay, one of those things is called a sales talk review expectations call. I know for every human being that goes through sales school for this entire year and for the next 30 years, every person is going to be mandatory doing a sales expectation call. And that's usually done with me and that person with their field trainer. And actually now we're actually getting all our field trainers. I know CJ's done a few of those, and Brandy and a few others as well, not just me. So if you're field training agents, these are things that you can be doing as well. We have an outline for this, and it's imperative to kind of set the tone to make sure that they clear the decks and get mailing prepared, and that they know their sales talk before sales school starts. Okay. Also, here's one thing: follow day if at all possible. If they can go out to the field with a top agent before the week before they go to Sales Academy, that is awesome. I know we've had several people follow CJ, Ramey, other folks, just to make sure they can see high success right before they go to sales school. and it always helps them. Those agents that actually do follow days prior always do better. Role play the sales talk with them as much as possible, not just during the sales talk review, where you definitely role play the sales talk for about 30 minutes with them, but even before then, after then, making sure that they have it down the weekend leading up to sales school on Monday, role playing different parts of the sales talk with them, making sure that they have as much repetition as possible, because knowledge breeds confidence. Share the Elevators podcast with them. Make sure that they listen to at least the first episode before Sales Academy starts. So the first episode is called Proper Preparation. That is 100% supposed to be listened to before sales school, because if they listen to it and it's after sales school, they're going to be like, oh, whoa, this is meant to listen to before they even start Sales Academy. So that way they can have the right focus and attention when they actually arrive in Sales Academy on Zoom. So make sure that they actually listen to that first episode, Proper Preparation, before it's too late. And just have conversations with them, guys, about visualizing them crushing it right off the bat. Not just hoping they do well, be like, hey, we're going to have conversations. I was on the phone with one of our ladies last night. You're going to crush it. We're going to get you over a green out this week. Go ahead and be writing out your hot hunters list, just making sure they clear the decks. They know week in advance, the schedule that it's going to look like for the next couple of weeks. Okay. Hype up the bonuses. Make sure that they know about the beast mode bonus their first week. Okay. If they get out of Sales Academy and they have no idea what the beast mode bonus, that's actually your fault. As your trainer, you should be hyping up the beast mode bonus, because people will hit that bonus if they know exactly the details and what it takes to hit that. Okay. And Rookie of the Year, talk about them being the Rookie of the Year. So I always talk about, for our agency as of right now, our top 3 rookies of all time is Caitlin Roberts is number 1 with 225,000 premiums sold. Jim Kanash is number 2 at 215,000. CJ's number 3 at 205,000 in the first 12 months from the second that they got hired. I'm telling folks, like, hey, who's going to pass Caitlin Roberts? Actually, Matt Schwartz is about 2,000 away from passing Caitlin. He's still got about 3 months left. So he's probably going to be the new number 1 Rookie of the Year. Now I'm talking to Matt. I'm like, Matt, are you going to pass me up? You got 280,000 you got to get to. You can actually pass me up, buddy. So just have those conversations with people ahead of time. Like, hey, are you going to be Rookie of the Year in our agency this year? Well, this is the deal. Whoever works the most hours will win. Whoever does most presentations, because I can show you all the canvassing charts. Whoever works the most is going to be the Rookie of the Year. Okay. And just get them competitive right out the get-go before Sales Academy starts, and making sure that they focus. This is what I tell everybody. Study the sales talk. I tell this to each person from the second that they pass your state exam. Awesome. You've passed your state exam. Now you have to start studying your sales talk as if you were getting paid $1,000 a day to study it. So when you have a new agent, keep telling that you're getting $1,000 a day to study this. You got to have that focus, because you will study it very aggressively. Okay. So these are just some good conversations, guys, to have the week before Sales Academy. Now let's go to during sales school. Here are some tips to make sure somebody gets off to a fast start, some conversations that you can have while somebody's actually in Sales Academy. Number 1 is call them at least once per day, or get them to call you. Okay, make sure that they call you or you call them after Sales Academy ends Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That is imperative. Okay, number 2, make sure that they know the game plan for Thursday and Friday. You don't want it to be Wednesday night and it's like, or Thursday morning, and like, hey, where are we meeting today? Like, am I working on my own or follow? No. That is lazy field training. You got to make sure that they know it way ahead of time what the game plan is. We're going to be meeting, at 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. Thursday morning in your territory at this business. Okay, we will be meeting there and walking into the first business before 9 a.m. and just making sure that they know that. Send them some Eagles to read. Right? Send them some claims that, they're already sent some of the stuff in Sales Academy, but make sure that they know this ahead of time. Having a goal for the first week. Hey, we're going to get 5 families protected this week. We're going to win you that beast mode bonus. Okay. How many names? I remember, guys, Caitlin Roberts crushed it her first month, but she had over 700 names written down on a sheet of paper when she started. That was her hot names list, was the biggest I've ever seen. So I tell people that story. I'm like, hey, guys, you don't have to do this. But our Rookie of the Year in 2021 was Caitlin. She had over 700 warm leads written down when she started here, right before she went to sales school. And during sales school, her name list was over 700. That's one reason why she did so well. Her rookie, and why she's still continuing to dominate. Okay. Tell them the territory that you'll be working with them in and pumping that territory up, right? Like, hey, we're going to crush this area, right? Go ahead, start doing some research. You can actually go to your mobile sales app. And actually, I did this yesterday. I went to Colorado where I'll be field training Tracy tomorrow. And I went ahead and picked the town that we'll be working in. I went ahead and downloaded all those names that are existing customers from Longmont and Erie, Colorado, and put it into my iPad, which everybody on this call can do. That's the cool thing about technology nowadays. We can just go ahead and look at the territory and download all the existing clients. So we already have a couple hundred warm leads, warm names that we can name drop the very first business that we go to. You guys can all do that, but you got to be willing to talk to them about that and show them how to do that. And make sure, non-negotiable, Wednesday night, you know exactly where they're meeting you on Thursday. Okay, so Wednesday night, very imperative that they know exactly where you're meeting them Thursday morning. And it's got to be way before 9 a.m. because if you're walking into your first business before 9, you need to be meeting them at 8 a.m., 8:15, 8:30 at the latest, because we all know that the first few minutes you're going to be hanging out with them. That may be actually the first time you've actually seen them face to face. Some of you guys were hired over Zoom. So sometimes the first time you meet your field trainer is that very first day, right? Unless you've gotten coffee or actually went to the office before then. So there's going to be some, building rapport there for a little bit, showing them how to set up their iPad the right way with, the claims, airdropping them some testimonials and, making sure that they kind of have their notebook set up the right way and all that good stuff. So make sure that you have all that stuff done before 9 so you can actually get a full 9 to 5 workday out in the field going B2B. It is very imperative. And make sure that you tell them to have their lunch packed for the day, okay? Because we're not going to be stopping eating at Chick-fil-A for lunchtime. We're not going to be stopping eating at, wherever it is, making sure they have their lunch packed, and so do you, because that is very important, because that will kill your momentum stopping at Chick-fil-A during the day, okay? And also the dress code. Make sure that they know what the dress code is. Let me actually share a picture real quick of what a good dress code should look like. So here's actually a picture of our agency. Who remembers where this picture was taken at a couple months ago?
Mexico.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Riviera Maya.
So whenever I interview people, guys, I show them this picture a lot of times, like, hey, this is what the dress code looks like. Now, for guys, you can probably take off the blazer and be fine. You don't have to wear a blazer here, but that's what it is. Dress pants, dress shoes, nice shirts. If you're wearing a short sleeve shirt like I'm wearing right now, that's okay as long as it's a collared shirt. I'll make sure that the Globe Life logo is on there as well. Or our green out shirts that we have, those are totally fine as well. But make sure that you're always wearing dress pants, not shorts. For guys, dress pants and dress shoes. Obviously, you can see with the ladies, Brandy, Casey, Trish, Maria, and Caitlin, what they're wearing. That is work attire. Okay, we are going business to business, getting account numbers. And I have shown up several times with the new agent where they're not dressed and people don't take them seriously. And then they're not coachable enough to change. So we got to make sure that ourselves as leaders are dressed apart. Because if you want to sell at a high level in this business, you have to look the part. Okay, you have to be sharp. You need to dress the part. If you want to go into a law firm or a big business and do business with them, you got to be dressing as nice as they are, right? Or else they will be kicking you out the door really quickly. So just a heads up that screenshot this picture. This is what the dress code is if you want to be a top performer here. So let's get back to the presentation. All right, perfect. So we got dress code, business casual. You don't have to wear a suit and tie, obviously. I would say the only time I ever wear a suit and tie is if I'm doing an enrollment at a law firm or like a super, super high-end business where they're all wearing suits. So if they're wearing suits, I'm wearing a suit if I'm doing enrollment at a company like that, right? It doesn't happen very often, but every now and then I get excited about that. So here's the first few days. Once Sales Academy ends, this is what the first few days should look like, okay? Follow Aaron Stolp's field training schedule. Almost every person who's a leader in my agency I know has Aaron Stolp's field training schedule. We actually talked about this at Agency Day or our Leaders Day before Agency Day about 2 weeks ago, and had this printed out. I've got it printed out right here in my book bag. So every time I field train, I read that, make sure I know. If you don't have that, we can always email it out to you later on today. Make sure that their first week, so obviously their first week they're in sales school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. On Thursday and Friday, you're with them all day in their territory. Okay. And then that next week is best to spend at least 3 days with them that next week as well in their territory. 3 full days, if at all possible. Or if it's not with you, have another field trainer work with them for 3 days that next week as well. Okay. They need to see success. I know some of the top people. I know CJ, he spent like 4 or 5 days with Ramey in Ramey's first 6 or 7 days out in the field. And guys, Ramey lives 2 hours away from CJ. That's one reason why Ramey was able to get off to a fast start, because CJ literally threw his schedule out the window, was like, hey, Ramey, you're my number one priority. I'm going to spend the next 4 or 5 days with you and get you off to a fast start. That is critically important. We train more now than we did 5 or 6 years ago. That's one reason why our new agent success is getting so much higher, is because we do spend a lot more time out in the field with new agents than we did whenever I first started. Okay, which is awesome. That's one reason why our agent retention rate is growing every single year. Hey, real quick, I'm going to pause because I've talked for about 10 or 15 minutes. Any questions on this so far or comments?
I'd like to comment that this is awesome. And when you do this kind of stuff, you have people that'll stick around the business and do well. This is great. Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm not training yet, but this is very informative for somebody who isn't doing it yet.
Heck yeah. Hey guys, I can email this out to everybody. No big deal if you guys want to have this. Actually, I have another PowerPoint I made about 4 years ago on this exact same subject. And I looked at it last night and I was like, oh, we've actually implemented a few new things over the last few years to kind of tweak it. So it's pretty cool, guys, just constantly, perfecting your systems and, just doing your dead level best. So I've already kind of talked about a few of these. Don't be the reason why they quit if they're not successful. You do not want to be part of the equation. I heard Brian Avers talk about that a few months ago on a Vision Team call. He's like, man, you just got to make sure if they quit, it's not because of you, because you can't sleep good at night as their field trainer if that happens. High activity, obviously, whenever you work with somebody, work with them as if it's like a PPW or a Founders Week training board. Like you have that insane intensity, focus. That is just out of this world. Great attitude, using the sales talk. Don't veer off the sales talk because you are killing their career. Work minimum 9 to 5 B2B at bare minimum. Do 6+ demos, non-negotiables when you're field training somebody. Train them, like I said, as if you're training your mom or your brother, right? Just, take it with that intention. Show them how to use Sales Rabbit. Very first business, how to use Sales Rabbit. Working a territory tightly. Don't skip around. Don't be like, oh, this business makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't want to go in. No, go in there. Go into every business. That is what they need to see, and how to work the system tight, how to get referrals, field recruiting. If you see a sharp person, make sure that you talk about the career opportunity and all the things that you wish you would have done whenever you first started here. That's what you do when you're training somebody. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to teach you how to do things that I wish I was shown my very first day. I wasn't shown all these things my, day one. So I'm going to train you as the way I wish I was trained myself. Okay. So that's what I tell everybody. I'm going to train you to the absolute best of my knowledge of, like, this is the last possible time I would ever field train somebody. So I'm going to do it my dead level best. Okay. Having that mindset. And then also have fun, guys. When you're with a brand new agent, it is not all super serious out there. Have fun. Be a goofball. I make sure that I make them laugh as much as possible, make Mr. and Mrs. Jones laugh as much as possible, even though it's hard at the very beginning. This is a fun career if you make it that way. As you get your skills developed and you're better at building rapport with people and just, not taking the job so seriously, then it's definitely, they can see you having fun and then know that this is not all going to be super serious, getting rejected all day long. So it is very important that you actually are yourself in front of the new agent and just having a blast out there. Okay. Cause that is important. And at the end of the day, logging their stats in, show them how to log their stats in, right at the end of the day. And then from that point forward, they can start logging their own stats and make sure that you do that before you head home. That's very important that you log your stats in right whenever you leave your last business. Look at the goal card, tally up all the contacts, introdutions, demos, referrals, sales, the whole 9 yards, and then put that in the stat site. And then, so that's pretty cool, guys, being able to show somebody that, and they can do that. It's awesome whenever, I get home at 8 or 9 p.m. at night and 99% of our agents have put in their stats for the day. That's really cool to see. You don't want to be hunting down people for their stats at 8 or 9 o'clock at night. That just gets annoying for both parties. So the next couple of weeks, once somebody has already been here for a full week and beyond, it is imperative these next few things. Field training is not just a 1 week thing. It is a forever thing. Training in our business is an everyday thing. CJ still calls me twice every single day, even though he's been here for 2.5 years. He doesn't need technical skill from me anymore, right? He's calling me for accountability. And that's one reason why he's been, our number one agent for 2 straight years. He literally calls me every single day about 10 a.m. and usually about 5 or 6 when he's wrapping up his day. It's like clockwork. I can tell you that. So you need to have good conversations with your agents every day, and they need to make sure that they need to call you at least minimum once per day. I tell people, if I'm your field trainer and you don't call me at least once per day, honestly, twice a day, I feel like you're not working at all. So you better call me at least once or twice, or I'm going to be like, dude, you're not even working, right? So I'm going to pour right back into you, or you pour back into us. So make sure that you talk to them, and you have to call them too. If they're not calling you, pick up the phone, you call them as well. Have a stat call at the end of each day. Voxer communication. So I have a Voxer channel with each person, and so if it's, let's say like CJ's field training somebody out in Knoxville, like with Ramey, we have a Voxer chat. It's me, CJ, and Ramey on one Voxer chat. And that's how we communicate a lot during the day. Now, if we need to have a more thorough conversation, we'll definitely pick up the phone and call each other. But we definitely talk a lot on Voxer. And, some good news, if Ramey sets up a big enrollment, he'll get on there and talk about his enrollment he just set up. He's pumped. He's got some stud referrals, the whole 9 yards, right? And, so we blow up Voxer during the day, not just on the Schneider agencies chat or Protect One Family chat, but also on individual chats between the agency owner, the team leader, and the new person. Okay, I learned that from Aaron Stolp and Justin Ellingson. That's what they do, and we're doing it too, and it definitely helps. Weekly business review. This is, every person in our agency, once they've been here for a week, has a weekly business review. We just got Anthony Corial set up with Jim Kanosh for Tuesdays at 11:30 a.m. So every Tuesday at 11:30 for the next 30 years, they'll be doing a weekly business review with each other, which is pretty cool, right? So making sure that you actually have those with your leaders. If you don't have a weekly business review set up with somebody and you've been here longer than a week, text your leader agency owner, and we're going to make that happen. So I know we've got a lot of brand new agents here, so if there's 1 or 2 that hasn't been set up, that's my fault. I'll make sure that is set up with somebody by the end of the day. This is very important, guys, because these weekly business reviews are awesome. Every big company, guys, every big company that does sales, they do that. Like they'll have a meeting with their leader once a week. It's just the norm. Even at my prior job before this, whenever I sold books door to door, I had a weekly business review with my leader as well. And we do it here. It's just a thing that everybody does if you're in the sales industry, which we are. And then promote all the bonuses aggressively that first month. Obviously, quick start, MVP, beast mode that first week. And then even after that first month, there's still that cash avalanche bonus. If they continue to get over 30 demos per week, that is huge as well. So making sure that you're showing somebody how to 3D name drop, how to continue to use Sales Rabbit to store your referrals in there, how to plug in those pins on your iPad. So if you get referred to 5 different companies in one day, at the end of the day, making sure that they're putting those referrals into Sales Rabbit so that pin can actually come up on their Google, on their map, and they'd be like, oh, cool, that's only like a few streets away. I can go see that today, right? It's just working smarter, not harder, and making sure, like when you're with somebody, I forgot to put this on a PowerPoint, that when you end the day, you know exactly where you're starting the next morning. As salespeople, we need a direction. If you don't have a certain time that you're going to go to the gym, there's a high chance you're not ever going to go to the gym that day. But if you know exactly what time you're going to go, exactly what time basketball practice starts, you're going to be there on time. But if it's like, yeah, I may practice basketball today, there's a 50-50 chance you're not going to do anything, right? So same thing here. You need to have a very set starting point, even if it's a cold calling business that you've never been into before. It doesn't matter. At least know the name of the business you're starting at the next day, whenever your day ends. Couple last things. Let's see here. We got, I think, 2 more slides coming up on 8:30. So one other thing, guys, I like taking my agents out to dinner. We're going to be doing a little team dinner on Friday night in Denver with Eric and then his new agent, Tracy. And just, having a little team dinner is awesome. It's fun. And plus it's a business write-off. Making sure they're doing their homework assignments. I know Nicole Danwood, guys, we have this just came out, I think this year, a 30-day homework assignment list for the new agents, that when they do those, the agents that actually do those, their sales have been massive. Okay, the agents that haven't done those, their sales have not been nearly as high. So make sure that you're doing those if you're in your first month or even after your first month, and your new agents are doing those homework assignments that Nicole Danwood sends out every week. We spend a lot of time getting those prepared. What are you reading each morning? Make sure you're having conversations about, hey, what did you read this morning before you hit the field? Like before I met you today, what did you read? Did you read for 10 or 15 minutes? Did you read an Eagle claim? It's just part of the deal. Like, you have to read here. It's like putting on your armor before you go out to war, right? Get to know their family, grab a beer with them after work sometimes, go to a sports bar, watch a game, right? I know me and Jim watched a NCAA tournament game about 2.5 weeks ago. It was pretty cool, right? So workout routine, if you like going out to the gym, meet them in the morning to go hit the gym. That's actually one of my favorite things to do, is if I meet one of our new agents at the gym, and it's fun before the day starts or even after the day ends. It's fun doing cool stuff like that. It really builds that trust and that relationship. And also making sure that if they're not reading claims in Eagles, that you're sending them to them to read. Like, hey, this is how you read Eagles. This is how you find claims. Making sure they know how to navigate the website in order to pull those up. And they know how to navigate Legacy Stat Site to look at their canvassing chart, FHL Connect. I usually do this the very first day. So once the day ends and I put their stats in, I will show them all 3 websites: Protect One Family, Legacy Stat Site, and the Protect One Family website as well. Just kind of showing them on how to navigate certain areas. And I know that they're not going to fully understand that the first time. They're going to have to look at it 5 to 10 more times before they fully grasp it. So, but I will make sure that I put that into their brain day one. So it just makes it, because the thing is, guys, if somebody does not get on FHL Connect, some of those folks are here for 3 or 6 months and they don't even know what their paychecks are looking like. They have no idea how to even look at their paychecks, how to order supplies. So we got to make sure that we show them how to do these things right off the bat. Okay. So here's the very last slide. To be a top trainer, if you want to be like, the best of the best in training in our agency, here's a couple other things to never puke down. Never puke down on your agent. So if something is not going well with you or your personal life, don't share it with them. Share it with your agency owner. So that is puke up in this business. If you have a personal issue and you're somebody's field trainer, talk to your market, regional, or agency owner about it, not to your new agent. Very important. Remember, they will do half of what you do well. So if you're doing a lot of good things right, they will do half of that. But if you have a bad habit that you're doing, they will do 100% of your bad habits. Okay. So if you're starting late, if you're ending early, well, guess what they're going to be doing? They'll be doing the same dang thing. Okay. Always under promise and over deliver on what you tell them. So if you tell them that you'll be working with them at least 3 days their first week, well, by golly, you better be doing that. You better clear your decks regardless, unless there's a tornado that comes through, you better be doing that with them, right? Or else that'll break the trust between you and them. Keep very good notes on them. Actually, it's funny. I still have notes from field training, Todd Stiles and Zach from many years ago, right? I still have notes in my notes section of my iPad. So keep notes on them, date it so you can kind of keep track. If you have Evernote, that's probably even better. But yeah, just make sure that you keep notes on them. So at the end of the day, you can give them the compliment sandwich, 2 things that they're doing well, 1 thing that they need to work on. And guys, I'll be honest, whenever I work with a new agent, there's a lot of times 40 different things that they need to tweak, but I'm not going to give them all 40 things. I'm just going to give them, hey, every few hours, hey man, this is what you're doing well. These 2 things, this is just 1 thing that we need to tweak on. Let's go ahead and focus on that for the next goal period. Okay. And make sure that you're being humble. Guys, some of you guys were top performers. Some of you guys were in the top 10 in the nation in sales. Some of you guys were regional directors, market directors, the whole 9 yards. And you don't need a cold call when you're working for yourself, but they do. So making sure that you're never too entitled or high up in a company to go out there and show them how to do the job the same way that you did at your very first day in the field. Okay, because if you try and take shortcuts in this career and try and only go to businesses that you like to go to or that you have easy access to because you've got networking enrollments or whatever, you're going to crush their career. You will tank their career really quickly if they don't see you doing the phase 1 activities that they need to see. And each day get results. Strive to hit a 3 out of 3 day. Don't be hoping that you get a 2 out of 3 day. Get a 3 out of 3 day if at all possible. Like what Amanda Arndt said last week on the legacy call on the Train More, is that if there's a business, she's going to find a way to try and get in. She's going to, go through a window, go through a side door. She will do everything possible that she can do to sit down with who she needs to sit down with. Well, have that intensity, have that mindset. We're just going to make things happen, not wait for things to happen. Elevators podcast needs to be blasting in your car 24/7, no music. I tell people whenever I feel, even whenever I'm working by myself, I don't listen to music during the day. I stopped that many years ago. I listen to Elevators podcast, Sharpening the Saw, an Audible book. Whenever I'm working with somebody, it just gets them the right habits. Now, at the end of the day, yeah, if it's like 7 o'clock and you're driving home, yeah, blast some country music, whatever you like to listen to. But when you're working in the morning, during the day, listening to positive things in your car, use a goal card with them, show them how to use a goal card, and get them to actually track the stats on the goal card. Like, hey, here's our goal card, but you're going to be the one putting the stats on here because I want to make sure that you know how to do it. I'm going to show you how to use Sales Rabbit for the first goal period, but then after that, you are the one putting the information into Sales Rabbit, not me. So I'll do it for the first goal period, but after that, it's all you. Okay, get them to do those things because that way, when you leave them the next week, they are doing those things whenever you are not in the picture. Okay, and the last thing is just have fun. Be excited about growing an empire with them and a future that they're very excited about. You have a new team member. This person can be your next game changer. This person can be, your next DJ Clark, your next Brad Phillips, your next Todd the Bod Styles. This can be your next key player that you're going to be doing business with for the next 20, 30, 40 years and really build a future that you're excited about and go on trips together. It's awesome whenever you see somebody that starts here and you see them buy a house for themselves that they would not have bought if they didn't work here. Like, it's so cool seeing that stuff, guys. And that's the opportunity that we have. There's lots of folks that I've seen just, buy that killer car, pay for their kids' college, whatever it is, right? Just go on, I know Zach's in Europe right now, like just cool stuff like that, if somebody was still working at their XYZ company as they were prior, they wouldn't be doing these cool things. So yeah, guys, that was a lot of content right there. I can send this email out to everybody. Pause this